are back. We are back. We are back with another edition of the Intellectual Soapbox Conversation. All right. Listen, I have some great people in the back with me. Okay. Some phenomenal women. Now, tonight's topic is close the door. New opportunities are waiting. Okay. Sometimes you got to close that door. All right. Sometimes things ain't, what it need to be. You got to move on. You got to transition. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And hey, sometimes it just ain't working out, and that could be hard, man. Because sometimes you get, you get a little complacent, or you get relaxed, or you kind of like certain things. But listen, in all aspects of life, not just relationships, sometimes you just gotta close that door, man. You gotta close that door, and you gotta move on. You know what I mean? Moving on is not the easiest thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes moving on is a process. It can take you some time, and I cannot tell you what your process is going to entail for you. I only can just tell you it's going to be a process. All right. So, with that being said, let me bring in, Conversations herself. I got to give it a spotlight. You know what I mean? I got to give it a spotlight. I got to give it a spotlight. Conversations herself.
Hey
QB,
y'all.
what's going on?
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Q Versations. How you doing, Mr. Biz?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
All right, so tonight, this topic was inspired by multiple conversations and a sermon I watched. So it's about closing doors and doors in general and going forward in your life, walking into new opportunities. We often try to hold on to one thing over here and try to reach for something over there, but your arm's too short. You can't do that. You're going to have to let something go. So, what are you afraid of? What's holding you back? Is this what you hold on to? Is it still serving your spirit? Is it still serving your mind, body, and soul? Is it doing any good in your life? Are you benefiting from it? Are you healthy or wealthy or whatever the case may be? So, what's over here? No, you don't know. You done peeked in the window and got a little bird's eye view of it, but you don't know which one is yours. You don't know when it's coming, how far down the road it is, but something's guaranteed over there for you. But you gotta let this go first. You gotta let it go. What are you willing to do? Okay. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Close the door. Close doors. Because new opportunities are waiting for you. So let's just get into it. We have some guests with us tonight. Hi.
Hey y'all.
So
Hey,
this
what's
is
going on?
Kim Gibson. She is one of Meet the Tylers podcast members, founders. She is in the southern states. I'm not going to give away her location, y'all. So one of my podcast sisters, we've been knowing each other for a couple years now, and I love her vibe, and I invited her on to share her experience. Because I'm sure there's some times in all of our lives we try to hold on to this door over here even though something over here was called our name. So yeah. So we're just gonna get right into it. Yeah, as y'all know, I always gotta start out with a quote. So here we go. Some doors are meant to be closed, and when you try to reopen them, you remember why they were closed in the first place. Okay. So let's just go and get right into it. So Kim, can you give us a moment in your life, present, past, whatever? You don't have to go into too many details if you don't want, but a moment in your life when you were forced or faced with closing a door so you can go to something new.
Yes, absolutely. When after I had my babies, I had a choice of whether to be a stay-at-home mom, which I absolutely adore, or I could re-enter the workforce again, in an industry that is mainly male dominated and in an industry that isn't necessarily woman, my type of woman environment. So it was a hard decision because I literally love staying home, and I work from home most of the time anyways with my job, but there are times that I do have to go out and actually work. So, but I was going through a time of, what do you want to call it? Self-doubt during this transition. So I had to close the door on the ideal that I wasn't good enough. And that's
Oh,
where this conversation is going with that. Because with me, it's more about, because human relations, I'm good with human relations. So
okay.
I really don't have to close doors like that. I can just keep it moving and peace out, But when it comes to my situations, those are the things I hold on to.
Okay.
So I had a long conversation with my husband, and we had a talk about the point, because I was like, okay, but if I re-enter the workforce, I'm going full force ahead.
Okay.
Right. And so, but then everybody was like, well, you're just going to leave your new babies. Cause I had like newborns and two under two at one
Oh,
time.
wow.
As a secondary starting over mom who had two grown children already.
Oh,
So how do you close the door on having, those small children? It's not like you're closing the door on your children, but your soul is calling you to do something because that's what you were meant to do.
okay.
So I had to close the door on the idea. And I don't even know if this is what we were supposed to be going in this conversation with, but I had to close the ideal that I wasn't good enough to keep pushing and to be where I'm at today, because I literally went full speed ahead with the kids.
Okay.
So
Okay. So looking back on that experience, um, would you say okay, did you benefit from your decision? Did it serve you, or did it help you to get to the next phase? Like, give us yeah, what was next?
absolutely. Okay. When I say I had to close the door, I didn't close the door on motherhood. I
Mhm.
closed the door on full-time, stay at home,
Okay.
never allow anyone else in my space energy. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? So I went full force ahead. I am where I'm at today. I'm doing events. I'm producing for other people. I'm writing for magazines.
Okay.
I've been invited to work on TV shows. So, yes, when I closed that door to the ideal that I wasn't good enough, it has benefited my life quality. It has changed my mindset and my goals, and my children have not suffered in the process because I'm going to put them first
That's what's up.
for my passion to get where I'm trying to go.
And see, that's a great story.
Thank
Just
you.
because I'm still gonna put you in the conversation. That's a great story. I feel like many women or men, because there are men who are single fathers,
Right.
or fathers who carry the weight of childbearing. I'm not bearing.
Mhm.
Oh, Lord, forgive me. Child raising. Just due
Lord
to
forbid.
they can't handle it. Child raising due to the dynamics of their family, and
Right.
so yeah, you have to make these decisions. Do I stay at home? Do I go to work? Do my children lack?
Mhm.
But what if your children don't lack? And so you made the decision, and look where things are with you now. I mean,
Right.
how they are now. So you and your husband are truly blessed. Opportunities are coming your way. But to
Mhm.
think if you sat back and let that doubt just sink, just plant and root itself within you, you probably wouldn't have these opportunities right now.
Yes, because I ended up 40 years of sitting and letting it keep me under my potential.
Mhm.
I never pursued the entertainment industry because I was a big woman. I was told that my type wasn't needed, that
Mhm.
a lot of things, but guess what? Okay, you don't might not need me,
Somebody
but
will.
somebody else needs me.
Yeah.
So you're not going to tell me I'm not worth this. But I didn't get there overnight. Like, it took a lot of self affirmations. It took a lot of self accountability exams, looking in the mirror, saying, hey, you're not going to be a bad mom if you pursue your career. You're not going to be a bad person if you pursue a career in an industry that is considered a little spicy and juicy. So,
Messy.
because the actual industry itself is questionable. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, we thank you so much. We're gonna get into some old topics. But wait a minute.
yes.
Want to give a shout out to our people in the chat.
I
Knowledge
got
and
him. I got him.
relationships. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. He says, "Hello, fam. Taking care of things in the kitchen right now. What's going on, three? Good to see you. Good to see you."
So all y'all
Also,
that's cooking, come to Arkansas and drop off a plate. It ain't that hard.
she's serious about that too. Look at her face. Gotta give a shout out to also Daryl Long. Good to see you, D. You know what I
What's
mean?
up,
Definitely.
Daryl? How you doing? M3, I'm laughing, but I'm very serious.
She's very
Anyway,
serious about that.
Mr. Best, come on with it and share, a story that you can share openly and public. I'm gonna go to jail for something, No, I'm playing.
um, what was the question in verbatim? Because I don't want to just talk about the topic.
Okay,
Just
so
off top.
basically, in a moment in your life when you had to close, or you were faced with a decision to close a door and go forward because a new opportunity was calling you or available for you, and what decision did you make? How did it affect you? Like all that jazz.
Man, I gotta do that all the time. I mean, it's not even. I mean, I'm just keeping it 100 like I do. Shout out to Marcus. Marcus, good to see you, man. Thank you
Hey,
for showing us some love.
Marcus.
Know what I mean? Oh, I forgot to give y'all the money sound too. My bad.
Ka-ching.
The three money sounds for the three people that checked in. Thank you, appreciate it. Listen, here's the thing, right? I think in life, this is a process that you always got to go through. But I think it happens in different aspects of your life. So sometimes it happens with you in relationships. Sometimes it happens with you in business. And you just gotta gotta see at times where you have to move forward from other things in order to gravitate towards certain things. So I think for me, a lot of times, what I've had to learn was that if I truly want to embark and be at my best, you know, um, it's best that at times, because me, I'm a type of person where it's like, I want to know, like, what's inside every door, right? I'm trying to open every door all at the same time. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can't do that because you open up one door, another door closes. You're like, wait, hold on. You try to put a little backstop on that door, and you're like, wait, hold on, let me see what all. But it's like you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, what I've learned is that focus on the door that you really, really want to go through.
Okay.
Right? That doesn't mean, right, that doesn't mean that like when the other doors are there, that you're ignoring them. You are aware, but you're not opening them right now. You know what I mean? They're on standby. They're on a just in case type of thing, right? But you're not going to gravitate towards those doors right now. Eventually you will. But for right now, focus on your one door, right? And I've seen when I've focused on that one door, things have gone phenomenally well, right? When I focus on too many doors, things just go bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just too much going on. You know what I'm saying? But also, what I've also learned is that sometimes some doors you got to close. Some doors you got to close a little more quickly. You know what I mean than others. You know what I mean? So if you're seeing the signs that door need to be closed, close it. You know what I mean? Like don't ignore the signs. Don't try to do not try to make that door into something else or try to fix things. No, if that's not meant for you, just move forward. Like just
And
move
you take
forward.
the knob off this sucker.
Do whatever you gotta do. Blow it up. You know what I'm saying? Like do whatever get a saw and cut it down. Whatever you gotta do, but get rid of that door because the longer you hold on to it, the worse it'll get. You know what I'm saying? So what I've just learned to do is that like if something or someone or some opportunity is not for me, just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You know what I mean?
Your comment remind me. Have you seen Monsters Inc? Y'all seen Monsters Inc? And when
I haven't seen it.
Oh my God, you seen it, Gil? So there was the time. Okay, they would go through the little scare factory, and if they went through a door and they considered that room tainted or whatever, like say a kid's toy, clothes, something came back with them into the monster world, they had to shred that door because they could no longer go back through that door. So sometimes like we, like you said, chop it down, do whatever, just put it through the shredder. Now you can put the pieces back together and get splinters if you want to, but again, like the quote I just read, there's a reason you once you close the door and you try to go back, you realize why you closed it in the first place. So why we do that to ourselves? Why do we do that? I'm gonna share mine. I got many experiences, but this one is kind of sad, hurtful, but at the same time it boosted me up. So there was a guy, I'm gonna say this. Okay, we grown, it's whatever. So he was my first everything, first love, first everything, you know. And so from age 15, mind your business, from age 15 up until whatever time in college, we kicked it off and on, whatever, whatever. Okay, so a few years went by. When he graduated from college, I moved on, had a baby. We came back around. And so we were like, okay, we're more grown, we're adults, let's try to make this relationship. Let's see if we can make a relationship really work in this stage of our life. So he was a personal trainer. And I was in a place where I was wanting to lose weight. I was much finer than I am now. But still. I want to really lose weight and get in better shape. And so I'm like, why not combine this whole dynamic, him being a personal trainer and being my boyfriend? Okay, so before we started working out, we hooked up. Y'all read between the lines. We hooked up. And so then the next day, he said, well, I can help you train, I can work out with you, but I don't think I can commit to a relationship with you until you look the way I want you to look. His word. I was like, oh, really? And I had my gear on, I'm ready to go work out. This was back in the VHS, the VCR tape days. Anyway, we was ready to go. I had to take a step back and say, this was my best friend, my lover, the love of my life. This was one man that I loved. I had to make a decision. I had to choose me in that moment. I said, you know what? I can't do this today. I said, I think you need to leave. And he was like, well, if I leave, I'm not coming back. And I literally stood there for a minute. All right, then. That's fine. Bye. I had to choose me in that moment. And it felt good. It hurt like hell. But I had to choose me in that moment. And what it did for me was I wrote my first real piece of poetry or spoken word after that. And from that point on, I tapped deeper into my gifts. I tapped deeper into who Kabila was and realizing my potential. I started working for other agencies and doing things that I probably wouldn't have done if I was connected to him. And then again, some years later, he resurfaced and he was like, I really want to apologize to you. I was an a-hole back then. I was in a place where I was dealing with stuff and I just threw it off on you. But I'm like, I appreciate your apology, but yeah, we tried to be friends. We did it for like 2 months. It just was weird and awkward. It was like our time is ended. That door had to close. So that's my story. I got some low, y'all. But anyway, so Kim, you got some more you want to add?
So we all have one of those stories. I mean, my Mr. Tyler is my second marriage, okay? But my first marriage ended with a baby with me, and I came to that point as well because we were not growing. And it was to the point where I was afraid that my child was going to be influenced, and it was so toxic, the love-hate toxicness, because we were young, 19, getting married, so in love, but we were blind in love because the reality of it wasn't as pretty as the ideal that I had in my head of what it was supposed to be. I grew up in the 70s and 80s when love was a romance thing, not a twerking and BBL thing, So we had different standards and morals back then, and marriage was the key goal back then. So, I'm somebody's wife. So I'm like, hey, hey, this is awesome. This is great. This is amazing. Well, it wasn't. because alcoholism set in, unemployment set in, years of fighting, fussing. And at that moment, when my daughter started crying during fights and stuff, she got old enough to feel the energy. I had to close that door, and I left the whole state. I emptied everything I could empty out, and I plotted for like 2 months on my own, and I got gone.
Wow.
And I never looked back, like, ever.
Wow. All right. So you had to choose you and your baby in that moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I felt you when you were saying that you had to choose you, and it comes from self-love that you have to come to that choice most of the time, because we do love those situations and those people and those careers that we have to close doors on, and relationships. I've had to close doors with toxic family members before, and those are my blood. But you're not going to make me have to feel some type of way every time me and my children are around, or whatever. So we can just close the door, agree that we have the same grandparents or the same aunties or whatever, and keep it moving.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to hate that situation to move forward.
Yes. So let's talk about that aspect. There's situations. So people know I'm a nerdy girl, so I like to look up.
I got a question.
I
got a question. I
know you're back. Go ahead.
I got a question. I don't know. I don't know if it's my man brain thinking, but I got a question. Why? I notice this a lot. Why do women, right? I don't mean to be on the manosphere type tip, but it's just in my mind, so I gotta ask, right? Why do y'all walk away from situations knowing that you still care about the person? Men, we cannot do that. We cannot do that. It's not in us. Like, we care. We're gonna stay. We're gonna try to figure it out, man. Let me see what see what I can do. Let me give it some flowers or whatever. Blah blah blah. We may try to talk to a homegirl, try to figure something out. But y'all just be ghosts. Like, why do y'all be doing it? Like, I gotta ask the question. I just got to ask. I just gotta ask it. It's a question that's one of the modern mysteries of today. I'm kind of joking about that, but I gotta ask the question.
Go ahead, Kim. I'm looking.
Okay, for me,
I'm asking you too, QB. You ain't off the hook,
right? Okay, for me, I can leave when I still care because I love me more. And if it's not benefiting me, if it's causing me hurt and pain more than, because a lot of men are very nonchalant when it comes to the situations that they're involved in with us. Like, it's not just us going at the relationship, the men are there too. So, sometimes I don't understand how men stay knowing they don't really want the woman like that. Like, because they're cheating, they're lying, they're sneaking. So why stay if it's that way too? Right, Q, Miss Q?
Look, I got some words. Hold on.
Because we don't want to hurt your feelings, right? We care about your feelings.
Hurt our feelings.
All right, we care about your feelings. All right. Now go ahead, QB.
But maybe that's the point. By the time we walk off, we don't care about y'all's feelings because we spent years not being cared about. So,
I always hear that. This is a fascinating thing. Go ahead. This is a fascinating study. Go ahead.
For me, we actually try to work it out. But when y'all, not you, but y'all in general, keep showing us the same thing, no change behavior, except y'all try to put a Band-Aid over a knife wound. It's like, you go out, you hang out, you disrespect us. And I'm not saying about cheating always. You spend too much money. You don't help out around the house. You disregard the responsibilities of the kids. You're not faithful on your job. Like, there's so many factors. You don't care for the spirit of the woman. Yeah, you pay the bills. You keep a car clean. You keep it with gas. But do you care about her spirit, her inner person? When we tell you in so many ways, we don't like this. We feel disrespected. And then here y'all go with these generic ass flowers from Kroger, and candy from Walmart, and jewelry from K's, and it's like I
That's a
got
lot of money. Hold on, hold on, wait. Yeah, you can't just bypass that. Jewelry from Kay. What? You
K's
getting
is
some
the low.
bread? You
K's
know
is
what I
low
mean?
end. You can get a
Oh
whole
wow.
for like $100 at K's. I mean, K's is low end. Come on now.
I done
Now,
heard
if
it
I had
all.
said something else, I don't know what the top. That shows you how much I shop for jewelry, but I don't know the top tier jewelry store. So anyway, yeah, when y'all keep doing the same generic copy, cut, paste thing, we get like, okay, you know what? I am fed up to here. I'm like literally, I'm fed up, and I'm tired of y'all giving us this regurgitated, in ingenuine affection. It's like we shut down, we shut off, we start working on an exit plan. How much money I need to save so me and my baby's gonna be okay. And sometimes we get to the point we don't even care. We're gonna take the clothes on our back and we can pack in a bag and
But
however
have
much
you
gas we
wait? But
got.
have you communicated all these things? He done
We
bought.
have
He bought. He
tried
bought. He
to
done bought you the K's and all that. Did you tell him that's not enough?
women. Okay, when women try to tell you, and yeah, how do we get on women versus me? What would I
I
tell
just
you? We're
had a
talking about
question. I'm not doing them. I just had a question. It was only a question.
shit.
It was only a question. That was all it was.
That's all.
Anyway,
One question's all it takes.
look,
Yeah, I just had a question. I just had a question, Mrs. Kim. That's
don't
all I
make me
had was
turn
just one
firecracker roll.
question.
Well, I mean, I know, okay, this goes along with the conversation, but when women close the door on a relationship with a man that she once really loved, she's tired. Like, she's tired. She has nothing left to give. And she
Has she
really is.
expressed everything though? That's the only thing I'm asking.
Y'all
Nine
think we
times
be
out of 10,
nagging?
yes. Over and
Y'all think
over again and over and over again.
Okay.
y'all
just
think we
asking.
be nagging, and it's like
I
I
don't
know
think nobody knows.
That's what they call it, nagging,
Well, yeah, because we
fussing,
ain't trying to scream
bitching,
that though. Like
whatever.
if y'all up in there screaming and all that, we don't hear none of
it
that.
ain't screaming sometimes. It's
Yeah, don't. You scream at me, it's over. Like, 'cause
Tired
then
of not being heard in our regular voice. So we
if you
get
speak to me regular,
aggressive and louder to be heard.
now if you speak to me regular and you respectful, like even if you frustrated, you speak to me
But
regular, I
every
can
man
hear
don't
you.
have that. And that's not a put down to me, and that's just an honest observation from my point of view, my opinion. Like most men don't have that where if they can hear you no matter your tone of voice.
when women start talking, some men just like
Their ears automatically shut down and they go off into their game or a movie, or they zone out thinking about work or whatever. It's our experience.
okay, referee. I mean,
No,
opponent over.
I just want to know that. I just want to know that. That was just my one question. I ain't, look,
Okay.
I don't be tripping over this whole men versus women thing. It was just a question I just wanted to know.
I don't trip too hard either until you talking about dominate me. But anyway, that's the after
Oh
hours show.
Lord, have mercy.
Okay,
No,
we're gonna
after I
keep it
got told business. I
moving.
ain't care about none of this stuff.
We're gonna keep it
Go ahead, QB. Go ahead.
okay. Okay, so when we are faced with those moments when we don't want to necessarily close the door because we are unsure of what's on the other side in another door, what do you feel like is a big fear? Is it fear that's been ingrained in us from society, from our family? Like what do you think the fear comes from of not wanting to move forward? Kim.
Failure. Fear of
Okay.
failure. I heard a quote on a TikTok video the other day that said, if we had never been taught that we could fail, imagine how much success we would have.
Wow.
And it really hit home because, you don't want people to be able to say, look at you working back at whatever after, whatever. But sometimes you just got to eat that. You got to eat that, and you have to put on your big girl panties, and you have to tell fear there's nothing to fear but fear itself, and I don't fear fear. So you're
Okay.
good. I'm gonna keep going, and we're gonna just close that door and hope that on the other side it's better.
Well, okay, let me ask you a devil's advocate question. Do you feel that fear can also be a motivator for us? Like sometimes we could be in a place and we're stuck. So then we get this fear of, is this going to be my life forever? Or this not going to be my life forever? So now we're afraid of being stuck and never growing in this middle ground. So we really have no choice but to close the door in that chapter and go forward.
Right. I feel like that if you use the fear to motivate you, the fear of failure, take the fear of failure, for instance. If I use that fear that I have in me as gasoline for my engine, then I won't fail
Okay.
because I'm not going to let myself down, if not anybody else. But with that being said, some people get consumed by fear to the point that they're afraid of everything. So there's a fine line in, I mean, I'm going to eat the fear. I mean, I really was born kind of fearless anyways.
Oh,
So, you know, let's do it. That's me. Let's do
okay.
it. Okay. But it's hard. There's emotions attached to closing doors, and it's not always the best um, outcome. So, but now that's what I am curious about with you guys. Like, is there an outcome that came out that wasn't better on the other side?
Mm. There were some cases. I want Mr. Best to go to answer the fear factor of it all. Has fear held you
Ladies
back?
first. Go ahead, QB. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You want, okay? Well, for me, when it came to my marriage being over, there was a fear factor. I knew my marriage was really over years before it was over. Before it just finally reached its end, where he left. I had fears of being alone, being lonely, having to now pay all the bills by myself. Yes, they were selfish fears. Um, and I admit that it was selfish fears. And so once he left, and yes, he did still help me some, especially with the bills that he created. Um, he didn't just leave me high and dry. However, he was no longer coming home to me. And I had to sit back and check myself, like for real. Like, what are you upset about? Y'all haven't been intimate. He hasn't really been here for you intimately. He's over here with this other woman, even though he come home and bring the money here. But what's wrong with you, girl? Like, I had to check myself for real and pull my own collar. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you still pining after this person who obviously does not respect you? And I told him, so go back to Mr. Best's question. I told him directly in this tone, I really feel like you disrespect me when you talk. Okay, this woman, she would text and call all times of night. He was a truck driver. He came home most on the weekends. I said, you need to tell those women you're at home and to stop calling you. I don't want them to know where I am. I want them keeping track of me. It's not about them keeping track of you. It's about you respecting the home. I don't want to hear your phone going off at 1 o'clock in the morning. My phone is not. You know. So I told him in so many words, in direct words, I really feel like you disrespect me. There were times when I would be in the bedroom watching TV. He'll be in the front room watching TV. And so he think I'm asleep. It's like midnight or whatever. I hear him on the phone, he ha ha and whatever. And so this went on for a while. And I brought it up to him. Oh, well, we were just on the phone talking about the Bible and praying. I said, but you don't ever ask me to pray for you. I'm your wife. So things like that. And so while I still selfishly, out of fear, want to hold on to that marriage because I was afraid of what would happen for me. It wasn't about him. It was about me. That was selfishness. I admit that. It took him leaving to say, okay, Kabila, you got to do something. You got to do something else. You got to stand on your own 2 feet. You got to find out who you are and find your strength. Move forward. So I don't know if I answered that right. I'm sorry, I would have rather where with that, but yeah.
Yeah, mm, I think fear can sometimes make us do things that we're like, I shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? But those are lessons that you have to learn. You know what I mean? It takes time to learn that, and then once you kind of learn that lesson, you just move differently. You know what I mean? Because you understand that not everything is meant for you. Not everything is meant for you to be around. And sometimes you have to face the fact of two things. One, sometimes you're too good for certain things, and then sometimes certain people are too good for you. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but I mean, I just got to keep it completely honest. Like, sometimes you're just not in a space to receive something that somebody can give, and it could be a blessing, but you're not in a space to receive that blessing. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to elevate yourself in order to get in a position to receive it. You know what I mean? It's not that you're a bad person or anything like that. It's just the fact that you're not ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually, once you really work on yourself, you'll get to that point. So
Now I will say there are some doors that close automatically with or without your permission and no apology ever. Like so. And I don't like to be in them places where I'm literally pushed. Okay, you gotta go. This door closing. Door closed at 10. You gotta go. I don't like to be in those positions. And I have been. Why they have and now again, that's where my marriage ended. It was he made a decision to say, okay, you are gonna stay stuck. I'm gonna stay stuck. So we need to really separate from each other and grow different, grow apart. And I will say it benefited me. Once I got over my emotions, I'm a feeling, things started happening for me. Within a year, I was at a radio station doing a radio show. I wrote a book, then I was working on another book, had some community things going on. So life started happening for me all over, like literally blossoming. So it was, again, fearful. I didn't want to close the door because I was in love with the idea of marriage. I wasn't fully in love with him like I hoped I was. So yeah, when it comes to relationships, many of us do stay too long. We're afraid to close the door because we're in love with the idea sometimes, and not the actual person or circumstance or situation. Mr. Best.
definitely, I definitely can see where that can happen when you tried everything you could, and things are still not where you want them to be. You know what I'm saying? Got to give a shout out to what I mean, another family in the stream, another sister in the streams. Roy B Privilege, Roy B, thank you for coming through. You know what I mean?
Hi.
Definitely thank you for checking in on us while you're at a meeting. We appreciate you. You definitely the money for being here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I looked up. I never got around to this. So to close the door on a situation, person, place, thing, whatever, is to no longer think about, consider, or accept that thing, that something. Um, Again, closing a chapter in your life. Has there ever been a time you closed the door, either by force or by choice, and you look back and was like, either you regret it or you regret the timing? Like you wish you had just a little more time to stay in that space before you moved on to the next thing. Because oftentimes it's not just close the door and then the other door is like right there. There's a gap. So what do you do? So there's an in between space, which is that waiting room area, or your journey to get to the other door. So yeah. So did you ever have any regrets? You want to turn back? Like whatever. Kim, you want to share?
I try not to have a lot of regrets
Yeah.
just because it happened. Blessings and lessons are usually disguised as each other, anyways.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So there have been times that I didn't learn the lesson I was supposed to learn the first go around. And so if the door was closed, forcefully closed, like, okay, I'm going to say this. I was a part of a show before that literally just kind of wrote me out of the show, like literally just stopped like inviting me to the show.
Yeah.
And While I never name names, you know me, I speak in general. When I speak, I'll never give them 15 seconds or 15 minutes off of me. But I do want to add that I think it's funny because after they did that, they came back and asked me to come back after, because they seen that. I mean, it just is, one monkey don't stop no show. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when, that show just randomly, mysteriously ended, then I joined about 4 or 5 other ones, and here I am. So I now have a whole website. I now have, thanks in part to you because you helped with that, Miss Q. So that was my husband leaving there. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, so here we are. Okay, I lost track because he was kind of doing stuff. So
we're talking about regrets. I think sometimes, I don't know if I have any regrets specific, but I would like to make sure that I exhaust all possibilities. Have explored all options within just one space. And I think sometimes that's what gets us caught up too. We want to explore and make sure we've looked at everything, we've exhausted all possibilities, and at the same time we're still getting splinters in our hand. We're still getting hurt, and we're still having these restless, sleepless, whatever the situation is bringing us. And we don't realize the damage we're doing to ourselves by still staying in that space when, okay, I'm just going to use my belief system. When God say it's time to move, like, you sure, God? Really? Right now? Right now? Right now? Right now? Move, girl. Get on up. It's like, I don't know. So, yeah. If you don't move when God say move, based on your beliefs, this is mine, he will make that situation so uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Okay, bye.
Until you have to close the door. You'll be so hurt and so uncomfortable from everything, you'll have to close it.
Yeah. That's like trying to put on something that's too small.
Right.
Like your shirt don't fit like you should.
I have that experience quite often these days in my old age. Sheesh.
Look, going through CV19. Everybody got something to get rid of. Everybody. So, Mr. Best, step out of here.
I mean, yes, there are times when things will happen and you are placed in a sense of discomfort. You know what I'm saying? And you have to. How can I say? You have to understand that you're placed in these situations based on the simple fact that, it's a time for you to basically learn and grow. It's not anything that's bad. It's not anything that's like, oh, this is terrible. No, you're put in a situation because at that moment you just gotta go. You just gotta kind of earn your stripes or go through your growing pains in that moment, right? So you go through your growing pains, you experience what you need to experience, you see what you need to see, and then your life will manifest into what needs to become, right? Because sometimes, like I said, at times certain things are just not meant for you, right? They're not meant for you. You know they ain't meant for you, but you're trying to basically, force the round peg into the square hole. Like, it ain't gonna work. But you steadily trying to make this happen. It's just, I gotta have, no, you don't have to have anything. You know what I'm saying? What you need to do is focus in on what is gonna actually help you and what is actually gonna benefit you. You know what I mean? You do that, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? But when you try to force things, you're trying to make things happen, or you're trying to make things happen that are not meant to be, you know what I mean? Guess what? It's not gonna work out for you. And you're gonna wind up frustrated. You know what I mean? So to basically ease that frustration and to ease you going through certain things, and Miss Kim, you got to come back because your device is not connected. You know what I mean? Then things will turn out better. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what you have to see. That's what you got to see. And certain things are just temporary, right?
Yeah.
They're not meant to be for a long time. But we keep trying to make something happen. That's only a temporary thing, right? It's not meant to be long term. You know what I mean? And some opportunities you just need to let go. Like
Yeah.
you just gotta say, you know what? I'm not even gonna do that to myself. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna experience this. It is fine. You know what I mean? And I'm moving forward. You know what I mean? And then you'll be better off for it. And like I said, also, when you really feel right, like one opportunity is really for you, you gotta have that tunnel vision. You know what I mean? You gotta have that tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then your tunnel vision, you know, focusing on what you really, really desire and want. And it will work out fine. You can put all of your energy, all of your effort into that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But when you're trying to, you know, do this and do that and go here and go there, you're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be all over the place.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? You're gonna be all over the place. You know? And then, you know, when things don't work out, then you're gonna get frustrated. But all you have to do is just chime in on that one thing. That's all you gotta do. Just chime in and focus on that one thing and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think sometimes now, not I think I gotta stop saying I think when I know because I am the one overanalyze. Okay, overanalyze everything. I need to know. Like I'm a facts and figures. While I'm a spiritual person, I'm also a facts and figures kind of person, which I know they kind of counter. They're counter. They're not. What do you call it? Help me with the words, sir. Like they're not.
Counterproductive.
Yeah, like they don't go together. Like either you believe or you
Mm-hmm.
don't. You know, it's like
Mm.
how people say science and religion don't mix. That's a whole nother conversation we're not gonna get into here. But
They contradict each other. That's what you're trying to say.
contradict. Thank you. There we go.
No problem. No problem.
See, that's why you missed intellectual. Okay. Uh, however, you know, I'm just one of those. Okay, God, I believe you. I trust you. But let me look at these numbers again. Let me get my calculator out. You know, it's not for me to always figure it out. I want to read a piece of this article, and then talk about another aspect. You know, just kind of go deeper into our lives and how we are afraid to close doors on situations. So this comes from the article. When one door closes, another opens and leads to opportunity if you let it. And this comes from Sales Acceleration Team. It's a business website. Okay, I'm just gonna read a little. Hey, Queen.
Hello, hello.
Hold on, QB. Before you get into this, you know, let me introduce Queen, but then also I want to give a shout out to people who have jumped in the chat. You know what I mean? Shout out to the music producer for Knowledge and Relationships and Intellectual Soapbox,
What's up,
Mr. DJ Eddie
DJ?
King. DJ Eddie King, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you, bro. You know what I mean? The Knowledge and Relationship family there. Also, we got, you know, our brother Wally, Wealth Talk Productions. Thank you, bro, for jumping
Wally,
in. Thanks for stepping in, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. You know what I mean?
Wally from
We're
now
giving a
on.
shout out to Eddie King, saluting everyone else. You know what I mean? Gotta give you know, also Wally giving a shout out to KNR. You know what I mean? They both earn the money for being here, Wally and of course DJ Eddie King. Thank you for both being there. You know, but yeah,
Okay,
go ahead,
Wally.
QB.
So Wally, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Wall-E, the little cartoon movie. So I'm gonna call you Wally.
No, you did not go there. No, you did not do that.
Have you seen that movie, Mr. Best?
No, it's one. You know what? It's one of those ones I definitely want to see because I heard it's very, very good.
It's a cute little movie. Anyway, okay, let me move on. So, Queen, how you doing? Let me back up and say what's up to my Queen sister. Queen, I want you to meet Kim, one of my podcast sisters. She so graciously joined us tonight.
Hello.
Hey, Queen, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good.
Because you are the
Right.
hardest working diva in the world. So, we were talking about closing doors and then new opportunities ahead. And so, we've been sharing, you know, some moments in our life where by force or by choice, the door was closed. You know, we had to move on. And so, can you share a moment legally that you can share?
Well, I think I get very comfortable and a little fearful of going down new endeavors. Get very complacent or comfortable at a job, whether I like it or not sometimes. And a lot of times I've had to be forced out. And
Okay.
then I go, what the hell was wrong with them? And then I'm like, man, I'm so grateful. Like, so yeah. So I do believe in other doors. I think the difference with me now is that I always have an updated resume. I'm always looking,
Okay.
and every now and then I'll take an interview just to see,
Oh.
I had one and it wasn't even really, it was like the first interview, but I was late to the Zoom and the lady still wanted me to, she still wanted to do it. And I was like, I was over it at this point. And then so she was like, okay, well, let me see if I can get the other lady on the line and see if we can still have the meeting. So she was like, okay, can you be ready in 30 minutes? I was like, sure, whatever. So we did it. And, they were asking me all these questions. And the lady was throwing a little salt, like little shade, like she made a comment about me being late, And in my head, I was just like, well, you didn't have to do the interview with me. You still chasing me. So that means you see something you really want. So don't play yourself. That's what I wanted to say. And so then after we chatted, found out about the job, what I would be doing, there was like, well, we'll let you know in a week. And then she was like, well, wait a minute. She was like, do you mind if we just put you in another Zoom room? So they put me in a room and they came back like not even 5 minutes later. And they was like, we actually want you to job. We want to offer you the job. And so, and I was like, oh, okay. I felt so flattered. But then even though I was like late, I didn't even answer a phone call. I couldn't jump on the Zoom in my car because I was, it was crazy. It was a lot of stuff happening. And then, so then I had to tell them like maybe I think a day later after the hype, I was like, I'm good, because they didn't offer what I wanted.
Okay.
Like as far as like the pay and, I was like, okay, well, if I do this, it could be part-time, but, I was like, no, I'm still worth more than that. So it felt good to decline. And then I had another job offer and I really wanted to work with the veterans, but the pay. And the lady's like, I understand. She was like, but if you're ever interested, please, I will hold your resume and please call me directly. I was like, oh. So I was like, oh, it feels good to be wanted.
Okay. Alrighty.
But yeah, so for me, I think sometimes I don't, I get in my own way and I don't realize there's another door down the hallway. So a lot of times I gotta be given the boot to, like I get the boot on the booty,
Yeah, we're spirit twins in that way. Like, I literally will sit there until the last drop because you're going to have to be honest with me and not throw hints at me because I am not a mind reader. So if you want me to go, I know I'm doing my job. So, or if you want me to go, you're going to have to kick me out.
Y'all need somebody. Y'all just get out. Get on down.
But I'm not like that now.
Okay.
I will say that I always keep an updated resume, cover letter. I still get, every now and then I may take an interview, even if, like it feels good to look when you don't need to look.
Okay.
Because when you need to look, you feel stressed.
Okay, I got you.
So that
and might end up taking the wrong job just because you feel the pressure of having to get that job.
Yeah. Yeah, and I definitely don't want that. So yeah, and I'm like, I got offered something the other day, and the lady was like, I offered to help her with something until she found someone, and she was like, she told me how much, and I was like, I said, I'm worth way more than that, and it felt good to say that. I was just like,
Okay.
no, I mean, my experience is like, I'm a rare commodity, like, nah, I'm cool.
Okay.
I said I can volunteer and help you, but for that she was like, well, let me look and see how I can maybe give you more money. I was like, you do that, you get back to me.
Okay. That's another aspect we're gonna talk about.
Listen, don't
But
you
I
be
want
turning
to
down opportunities, all right? Don't you be you take whatever.
look. We're not finna be out here prostituting ourselves in the streets just for no paycheck. We can't be doing
Ain't nobody listening to him.
it.
Ain't nobody listening to him. Cause
Oh God.
you already know where my opportunities are. I got 5 jobs waiting for me.
Look, that's what's up. That is Queen. Where she go? See the
Why
boss.
you threw me in the back?
Okay,
If
Kim.
you
For the
gonna
record,
abuse me, intellectual soapbox, I will leave.
Listen,
these two are
sometimes
like
in this show,
Tom and Jerry.
we got to close the door. Sometimes we got to close the door and then open it back up. Okay, we got to close the door on you for a minute, but it's open again.
Okay, Kim. This is your first visit to our house. I'm sorry.
It's
These
all
these,
right.
these the cousins I gotta explain to everybody. They like Tom and Jerry. They should. They good.
Right.
Oh, God. I apologize in advance for these cousins over here.
Good.
Anyway, no. But I want to ask Queen before we move on. Do you feel like any of those moments in your life where either you closed the door by choice or were forced out, you have some regrets, or do you feel like fear, or was it fear? What type of fear? I mean, what was the fear rooted in? Like, what? Yeah, go into that aspect of why and when and
You
whatever.
talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, um, well, I will say that I regret it too. I just made bad decisions,
Okay.
and looking back on it, I would have done things differently. But even though it was a great job, it was very toxic emotionally. Um, and so I think I just got afraid because you throw yourself out there, and like I said, when you are in panic mode because I got let go, my bills still got to be paid, you know.
Yes.
Um, and so I'm a hustler by nature, so I already had like 3 other options, little side things I could have done. I did to get by, but looking for a job and going through the interview process, this makes you insecure. Like I felt insecure. Like here I am, I got to sell myself again, and
Okay.
do I meet their criteria? I remember one interview I went to, and it started off as it was a group interview, and of course I was the only woman of color in the room. I think in the whole company, but it seemed like in the whole office. And so, just like the questions that were asked, and I was just like, so when I, and it was weird because the lady who was doing the group interview, she really had a great poker face,
Mhm.
because when I left there, I was like, oh hell no, I know they ain't calling me back. And they called me back like literally the next day. I was like,
Okay.
hey, want to schedule a second interview.
Oh wow.
And then the second interview, all I asked during the interview, I said something real stupid. Maybe I just was like, I was over it. I was like, oh yeah, I hear bad things about this organization.
Oh
And the lady was
God.
like what? And she had on sneakers and sweatpants and a
Oh,
t-shirt, and she was interviewing me. So I felt very uncomfortable. I was
oh
like, why
wow.
am I dressed like this? And but yeah. But anyway,
Okay.
I think I regretted saying something, but maybe I didn't want the job after all. I don't know, but
Okay.
yeah.
So I want to read this one part of this article. It's not very long, I promise y'all. Okay, so have you ever felt paralyzed when a door closes? Perhaps a personal or professional door, such as when a job or long-term career ends. It can be difficult to keep things in perspective and move on to greater opportunities. But perhaps the words of Helen Keller are a good starting place to find the proper focus. When one door of happiness closes, another door, another opens. But often we look so long at the closed door that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. Keller, a renowned disability advocate and author, included this version in a popular adage of her 1957 book, The Open Door. Of course, Keller did not merely repeat inspirational messages. She was and continues to be an inspiration for tens of millions. Blind and deaf from early childhood, she overcame challenges few of us can imagine, let alone conquer. So let's talk about closing the door when it comes to like personal health and well-being and emotional health and well-being. We're in a situation, again, it could be job or relationship, something dealing with a family member, but it is killing us literally from the inside out. And it's like, okay, that door needs to be closed. And Kim, you talked about this earlier. You bring it up again. Queen or Mr. Best, has there been a time when you were like, you know what, flag on the play, pause, um, this door gotta close because it's either gonna be me or them. One of us gonna end up in a body bag. So yeah, Kim.
Yes, with my first marriage, like if I did not leave, one of us was going to die. And I knew that because it got worse and worse. As the years went on, it didn't get better. It didn't, like, there was thousands of promises that would be better. So I knew if I didn't close that door, they would be closing it. God only knows what kind of closing they'd have to do. So, yeah, definitely relationships can bring that about, but other situations can bring that about too, where it's just so toxic, it's literally eating you up from the inside out. And that, I just want to add one of my things at here, and then I'm going to turn it over. But I know I have a personal relationship with my big body. Okay. And my fat literally has been saved my life at times, but
Yeah.
I also feel like that it has almost ended my life at times. So with me right now at 46 years old, I'm on a new health journey.
Okay.
I'm having to read and teach myself things about sugar and gluten and things that I never knew about when I was eating my greens and fried chicken and I wasn't worried about any of that all them years because I just loved me. I grew a love for me that was so strong because nobody else really did. I come from an era where we wasn't accepted like, we are more so today.
Yeah.
In my era, we were fat, greasy, and nasty all in the same breath. For whoever said it. It don't matter if it was family that said it, school kids, school teachers. I've had all kinds of people call me fat and gross and all that. And so I had to form a love with the fat. So I never attempted to get rid of it. And it literally is going to kill me from the inside out if I don't work on getting not necessarily skinny, but healthier.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a big build by nature. So
Uh,
getting skinny is not going to ever be a goal of mine. You know what I'm saying? But excuse me, but getting healthier and being able to keep up with my smaller children and my grandkids coming up, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I got to do it, because if I don't,
And when both of us living in the South, we already know what the cuisine was
oh,
like. Everything is deep fried, grease, butter, sugar. Like, it's like that's what we grew up on. And so,
I know where I'm from, it's rare to find people that can't cook those types of foods. So, like, everybody cooks those types of foods everywhere. I'm moving in, but I'm gonna give it a. I'm moving into more of a vegetarian type of diet these days. I'm trying to give up meat. I'm down to about 2 or 3 that I still have a love for that I haven't been able to give up yet. But I've been finding a lot of ways to replace that in my life. So I'm happy about that. Okay.
but the point is that you're closing the door to unhealthy habits and
Yes,
lifestyle eating,
that
and you're
very
opening the door
eloquently said. Yes.
and you're walking toward a healthier life. My
hmm
mind. So, all right. Thank you, Kim. Miss Queen.
Yes. What
So,
was the question?
so basically, it's centered around closing the door on something or someone that is no longer serving your mind, body, and soul. Actually, they're killing.
I'm calling doing everybody now. Stop.
Just do it
Y'all
5,
on
4,
here
3,
now.
2.
5, 4, 3, 2. Your time is up. No, stop. Let's
But
see.
and you don't have to share like the personal details, but
I think I'm opening the door. I'm closing the door to putting me last.
okay,
And I'm opening the door to putting me first.
okay,
I'm not useful to anybody if I'm tired, drained, emotionally discombobulated, or and I feel like I don't like what it produces, meaning, my language has been a little colorful lately.
but look, that's okay. I'm not
Huh?
gonna say that's you, but that's kind of part of you.
Well, it
I'm
is
guilty
and
as well.
it is and it isn't.
Okay,
Yeah, I think there's a way that I've communicated without needing to be colorful. And I know sometimes when I use certain words, it's not just a word, it's something deeper.
okay.
So
It's coming
yeah,
from.
I think just taking care of myself, whatever that means, like more sleep, taking a walk, going to get my nails and my feet done, chilling, like being okay to chill, like not always feeling like I have to do something,
Yeah.
like just I want to get some roller skates, roller skate,
Okay.
so yeah, so just trying to open the door to taking care of me mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually. Because if I can't take care of those things, I'm no good to the people who need me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm gonna share mine, and then Mr. Best will say the best for last.
No, you need to make him go first. This is your show, Queefy.
Well, he said ladies first, so I'm gonna jump on this. I'm gonna ride this horse out.
You better stop putting me out.
All right, man.
So I won't go into too much detail because I'm trying to save some things for my podcast, my personal pages. However, okay, I'm gonna try to give the very short version. The end of August, I got sick, which sent me to the hospital. While in the hospital, things didn't happen, which led me to be here in the rehab/nursing facility. Okay, so fast forward, there came a time when I was faced with, do I stay here longer or do I go home? And I chose to stay to get more help because I knew what going back home, my little apartment, would do to me. It would set me further back than where I was now. Yes, I had made some advances with meeting people in the podcast world. I was, coming up. I was doing a few things in life, but I still wasn't physically getting out of my house, interacting with people. I really let people in my house, and I'm not telling my story for sympathy. I'm telling it so hopefully it helps someone else who's facing something similar. Um, I didn't let people in because of the condition I have and the wounds that I have. I was always concerned about what it looks like and what it smells like, and that's okay. Anyway, so only limited people. My son was a big help, but it was not his responsibility to take care of me like that. Long story short, here I am in a whole other city, away from my home, faced with a decision. I like everybody said, I chose me. I chose my health and well-being, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being. And since I have been here in this place, even though I'm in a room, I'm not out in the world outside. I'm still outside of that little cell that I was in at home. And I'm meeting people all the time. People are telling me how much they love my spirit. People come in my room, like my room is on the end of a hall, dead end. And you come down here, you got to be coming down here for something. And I had my room anointed with the oil that a minister sent me with. But people said when they come in my room, they forget they're at work. They come and they talk, we chill, we laugh, we joke. Like, it's fun times around here. Everybody called us the party room, the beehive. Anyway, so I said all that to say, sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. And also what I was facing when I had to make the decision to stay here was, I got to give up my apartment. Where's my son going to stay? Because he was staying in my house. And his grandmother's house was not suitable for him in the moment. So it's like all these different factors. And I'm like, I can't go backwards. I can't die there. I can't. So I had to close that door and going back home and staying here. I've met people. I've started some projects. They are lucrative and more things are coming. So I was hurt. I was emotional. I was depressed, but it was for my good. God doesn't do my faith says, I'm not saying what anybody else believes. My faith says God is going to take care of me. Never have the righteous been forsaken. I've never seen the righteous forsaken. And as long as I put God first and give him honor and glory in my life and what I'm doing, and I'm not doing it for selfish gain, I know he's going to take care of the rest. And like I mentioned before, there's a waiting period. For me, it was a valley moment. So you the mountain and the valley. We can be up here all day, but you better believe it comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of privileges. Sometimes we got to be brought down to the valley to reset, rebalance, whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to preach on to y'all tonight because that's not my place, but that's my story, y'all. So, Mr. Beck.
Man, before I even start, let me give a shout out to the people that just checked in. Shout out to the homie AR. What's going on, man? So hello everyone. What's good, AR? Good to see you, bro. Definitely the money for being here. Appreciate you.
Hey.
Also, my fellow New York brethren, Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor. Man, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. So salute to you too, brother. You know what I'm saying? Much love to you. Y'all both and money for being here. Thank you for coming through. M3 giving his greetings as always. You know what I'm saying? Much love to everybody up in the chat and everybody watching. For me, I would say that, I think that what I'm learning is that, at times you have to just transition, and in your transition, you got to make different choices. Like right now, I'm making a choice, to basically embark on something, that I haven't wanted to embark on, but I'm going to embark on, based on the simple fact that, I need to, grow, and I need to still continue to progress in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? It's different. My life cannot stop at this point. And just like you, QB, it's definitely with health and the health setback. I was on the road to um, growing in my field as a computer tech. I was on the road to going to culinary school. I was on the road to doing a lot of things. And things didn't pan out the way that I wanted to pan out, which is fine. Looking back on it, I see that I was trying to bring people along on my journey that wasn't able to come, and not only wasn't that they not only were they not able to come, they didn't want to come, right? They didn't want to be a part of the journey, so I had to just let them go. I let them go on their journey, and I had to let some of them go out of my life, and I had to be fine with it, and now usually when somebody texts me and they say, "Hey man, hit me back, call me back," or I would be the first one, I would call them back immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now, I've learned that only thing I got to do is just respond to the message, right? Once I respond to that message, you know what I mean, I can just keep it moving from there. You know what I mean? I don't have to call automatically. I don't have to put all my time into them, especially if they're not putting all their time into me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one thing that I've learned not to do anymore. I can still give my heart. I can still be me. But now I've learned to be very, very, how can I say, not even cautious, but I learned to have perspective and selective, on how to do different things. I still give, and I still am willing to give, but not at the rate that I was doing it before. Before it was ridiculous. It would be like somebody called at the drop of the hat, I'll be there. Somebody asked something at the drop of the hat, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? And then when those things were not reciprocated, I would feel away. You know what I mean? But their actions were showing me that they're not going to be reciprocal anyway. But I would still give my all because I'm like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. That's me being solid. But me being solid, I wasn't taking care of what I need to take care of on my end. You know what I mean? And it's done things from happening the way that it should happen. But I needed to learn that lesson. So the lesson learned, even at the expense of me, having to dang near fight for my life. You know what I mean? It was a great lesson that I learned, and I'm appreciative of that, and I'm grateful that I learned that lesson. Yeah, I give a shout out to Big Rig Slaps. You know what I mean? Big Rig, what's going on? You know what I mean? So salute to the panel in chat. You know what I mean? Salute to the panel people in the chat. Thank you, Rig. What's going on? Now, Rig is coming up on our main station, Knowledge and Relationships, okay? Easily Rig will be on tonight. It's up and it's stuck. Check them brothers out, okay? Him and Be Easy, they're gonna be rocking. You know what I mean? And they're gonna definitely bring you something different. All right? So please, definitely be ready for that. Big Rig, you always in the money for being here, bro. Much love to you. Much love to the whole Knowledge Relationship family.
Thank you. Thank y'all for checking it out. Everybody, go on and spank that like button over there, okay? Everybody in the chat, go and hit that like button. So, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe too. Anyway, but have you ever thought about sometimes you sit in a situation, the opportunity is waiting for you over here, but you're still stuck and sitting, like you're just sitting, pop the squat in this space and the door's closing, or you got one foot trying to hold it open, whatever. And it's like you are literally deteriorating in this space. But you're like, but maybe it's not over. We go through the stages of grief, and that can apply to every aspect of your life outside of the death of someone. We go through stages of grief within a lot of situations we got to let go. So have you ever found yourself, and I'm going to pull them up right quick, just before I start coughing. Anybody could jump in, Queen or Kim. Have you found yourself going through the stages of grief when you had to let go of a situation?
I mean, yeah, stages of grief is something I know well, because I've had to not only physically bury a 3-month-old baby, my mother and my only blood brother, like within 10 years of each other. I had to grieve not only the loss of them, but I had to grieve the me that was before the loss. So it's not always death that separates somebody. You know, it can come from the loss of a relationship, the loss of, respect for somebody can cause you to grieve. Trust, you can grieve trust with somebody. Like, if they break your trust and betray you to the point where you just never can see them the same, you have to close that, because that ain't your people. Because if you have to feel some type of way every time you're around them because of what happened or because of things that are going on, then that becomes the problem. That's the grief, that you can't let go of the situation to the point that you're not eating, sleeping, you're not doing anything but worrying about that situation. It's a hard thing to do, let go.
Yes. There are 5 stages of grief. What's up, Razik? How are you doing? Okay.
Razik, what's going on, man? You probably trying to get his sound together.
Okay. Well, the 5 stages of grief are denial. No, this ain't happening. Are you for real? No. And then there's anger. We all know what anger is. And then there's bargaining. Okay, so what if, let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. And then it's like depression. Oh my God. And this is one of those moments of grief I think lasts a little bit longer than some of the others. And oftentimes we just cycle back through and they might all mix up together. But depression is one of those that's really heavy and it weighs on people for a long time. And then there's the acceptance. Do we actually get to the acceptance? No, that's questionable. And that's personal, that's personal for everybody. But when we have to close a door on a situation, person, place, or thing, we go through these stages of grief whether we realize it or not. And I think now that we know that, we could be better equipped to handle the next situation that comes in life. We won't be like a wet piece of tissue paper and just dissolve when the issue hit the fan, So, yeah. Okay, I guess Razik is having some connectivity issues. He'll pop back in a moment. So, Queen, I just want to give that before you go ahead. I'm sorry. Please share were there time that you went through some of the stages of grief with having to close the door on some situations?
I think it was when my mother passed away.
Mm-hmm.
To me, not being in the city or the state made it seem like she wasn't dead.
Oh.
Okay. So I stayed away, even though I was trying to move back home. When she died, I was like, I'm not going back there.
Okay.
Because, I didn't know if I could handle being there without her. Even though my dad is still there, siblings. So I was in denial for a long time.
Okay.
A very long time. So yeah. Then I got angry and I was like, man, you were selfish. You shouldn't have been away so long. You should have went back home sooner. And, then I forgave myself, of course, and was like, no, that was out of your control. So, yeah. So
okay.
that was the biggest thing, but it took me a very long time to get over it.
Okay.
Hey, yeah. And then she passed on my niece's birthday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
so
it was weird.
So one of the happiest moments is now marked also with a sad moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So every time it comes around, my niece is like, we're like, what are you gonna do for your birthday? She said, oh, I'm celebrating my birthday the day before. And then everyone's like, yeah, well, everyone says it, but doesn't say it. Like, well, you already know. Yeah, so it's just like, oh, okay. So
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. All right. Razik, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to do my infamous drive by. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, we thank you for joining us. So, we've been talking about close the door, new opportunities are waiting. So basically, people have just been sharing their personal experience with having to close the door on a situation, job, person, whatever the case, whatever it is for you. So would you like to share something that you've had to
Razik,
close the
what up,
door
man?
on?
Yeah, what's going
Um,
on, Mr. 84? I'm QB, Miss Gibson, and my love and hate relationship with Queen Forever.
What's up?
Look, you heard how she said it? She was like, yeah, what's up?
I'm not fooling with y'all cousins tonight. I'm not. We got company, y'all. Be on y'all best behavior. Hey.
I'm like the long lost Meet the Browns cousin that, you know, just don't mind me. I blend in. I'm camouflage.
Well, I think when QB says mind your behavior, I think she's talking in code. So,
I'm talking to all of y'all.
I think she.
I'm talking to all of y'all.
Well, I'm taking it personal. I'm taking it
Well, okay,
personal.
that's fine. But I'm talking to all of y'all. They know who I'm talking to. Anyway, we
Well,
talking about
look. Well, I just took them in the warning to myself, but it's all good though. What's going on?
all right. So we talking about walking away from something, walking toward, something new. Have you ever been faced with a decision, or has a decision been made for you, or a door closed and you had to move forward? Like, yeah, just share anything you would like to.
Well, pertaining to the topic, yeah. I mean, all the doors that have closed on me was because of my own stupid ass.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. You know what I mean? You know what? Let me let me preface by saying
okay,
this, right? And I'm gonna ask everybody a generalized question, right?
okay.
Have y'all ever heard the saying um that life doesn't happen to you, it responds to you?
Hmm. Never heard it like that. No, but I can, I can see that.
Mr. 84, have you heard that before?
Nah, I never heard that before. No.
Is King.
Queen, Miss Miss Gibson, have y'all heard that before?
I have never heard that before, but I could see where that would come from.
I've heard something similar to that.
Okay. A follow-up question. Do y'all agree?
I've said that life
Somewhat.
happens for you, but from your step, I can agree. It responds to it move like you move.
I mean, no. Don't agree. You know what I'm saying? Because
No, I can
I
see that.
personally agree. I mean, if you don't agree, I want you to say it like you don't agree.
I can see that
I just
perspective. I can see that.
uh,
I agree.
does anybody else agree, disagree, yay, nay? What's going on? Hey,
I would
look,
say
ain't no need for y'all to be quiet, man, because I'm up here.
I'm gonna say
This
somewhat.
stuff crazy.
Somewhat. It could be. I always see things as duality because I feel like in my perspective, like both things can be right and wrong at the same time. Like I don't feel like there's no absolute right or absolute wrong in certain situations. Not all, right? But I feel like yes, in certain things you don't have no control over, right? But in some aspects you do have control over. Like when things happen to you as a child, most times you ain't got no control over that.
So like basically, if your parent is fucking up, I'm sorry using this language, but I got to. I'm sorry. Your parent is messing up. You know what I mean? Or somebody adult is doing something to you that's not right. Then yeah, that's nothing. There's nothing you can do nothing about that. But as an adult, you can kind of make more better decisions, and you can kind of counter. You can kind of like basically make the choices that are going to benefit you instead of hinder you.
Okay. All right. So I definitely appreciate.
What was
Oh,
the question?
nah, I was I'm sorry, Quinn. I was asking do y'all or I was asking everybody, in a general sense, do you either disagree or agree with that life doesn't happen to you, it responds to you? Do you agree or don't agree with that
I don't
statement?
agree with that.
Okay. May I ask why?
Um, because life is not just about you, it's about people around you, and you're not responsible for how people act around you. Some people you don't want around you, and they're around you. So I don't agree with that. I agree you have choices, but I don't believe life is about you, because there's a lot of situations people are put in that they didn't choose, that were forced
Okay.
upon them, or yeah.
Right. Okay. So if I may, let me expound on this. And to I guess give some clarity. Um, I wholeheartedly believe in that, right? Because and this is why I think I'm a very gifted individual in my
Okay.
own sense. Because you know, I think I have a uncanny ability to be so self-absorbed to understand where I fuck up at. You know what I'm saying? Like I 110% own up to every single decision, every single person who I come in contact with. You know what I'm saying? And or who I choose to just even on a basic level choose to have a conversation with or not choose to have a conversation with, choose to have business with or choose not to have business with. And even to a opposite sex, you know what I'm saying, spectrum, even who I choose to have sex with and those who I choose not to have, what I'm saying, intimate relationships with. Like I 100 and wholeheartedly 10% assume all responsibility. I am 110% responsible for my own actions and my own actions alone. I don't put no blame, and I have, you know,
Individual accountability goes far.
yeah, and and again, this is why I premise the statement by saying this is why I think I am a gifted individual. I think that is what and excuse me if I'm kind of like championing my own self and kind of giving my own self a little bravo here. I am somewhat semi arrogant, as one lady on the panel has told me before, and I accept it. I understand that, and I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't gonna like it, and I don't fault her for it. She gonna see me in a certain like, how you doing, Queen? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. But I'm saying, but it's all love though. But I'm just saying, you know, um, and I think this is where people, men and other women, see the genuineness in me, even through my faults. You know what I'm saying? Even through my arrogance, even through the times that I was locked up, the times that, when I was doing crimes and terrorizing the neighborhood at a very young age. Yeah. Even then, there's another old saying, right? Warren Buffett once famously said, he said, it takes a lifetime to build up your reputation, and you can fuck it up in a second just by one choice. And I remember another old head had told me in prison. He said, you know, your reputation is just like credit. Guard it with your life. The moment you fuck it up, you ruin it. You ruin it. So that's my piece. That's my piece.
So
I hope
I
I
want to.
didn't. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Yes,
No,
yes,
go
ma'am.
ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your
No, I'm
statement.
done. I'm just gonna say I hope I didn't disturb nobody's night.
No, no. Um, I can actually see where you're coming from. I found an article. I mean, there's several articles, and so based on what one said, is what I say. Life happens for you. So it's similar concept. So basically, even though I'm just going to read this piece because I don't want to get it out of line. I don't want to get it out of context. Um, for example, you can you can endure suffering and still choose happiness. I know it may sound hard to believe, but stay with me as I make my point. And this article was written by Tony Farkrey. This was back in 2018. He says research shows that as little as 10% of the external world influences your happiness. Um, let's see, there's a bunch of different lines. Um, there's always something going on to disrupt your inner peace. For example, victims blame outside conditions for their discontent because they are certain life happens to them, not for them. I'm not articulating something new, but conveying it so you can empower your life. We realize that our quality of life is not dependent on the experiences arising in the world or our minds, but on the level of mind they are rising to. We can feel good even when we don't feel good. And I never thought about it like that. That so yes, life is happening in response to us based on how we respond to what's happening. So I can see that point of view. I can agree with that.
Yeah, we can't control what happens in life, but we can control how we react to what happens in life. And how we react can change our whole life. So that's a thought.
So thank you for sharing that, Rosie. And so
Indeed, indeed.
and so it still ties into our
I
conversation.
still don't agree with
Okay, you're entitled. I mean, look,
It's
this is a
because
safe
it's
space.
me. What? I want to say this right. Queen is my auntie. She don't even know it yet, but I know she got the adoption papers ready. So, hey, Queen, I am. You know what I mean? You don't have to claim me this year, 5 years from now, but I'm almost certain you will claim me one day. You know what I'm saying? So,
no.
if I got a bank on you,
You
you
on your
already know.
own, man.
Damn, you gonna
I'm
just
here
leave
to
me out here
support you, but
hanging?
I'm good. No,
Hey,
I'm
84.
co-signing.
Is there any negotiation in this?
Nope.
Hey, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, ain't no good negotiation. I'm
Damn.
Time.
perfect.
Well, I mean, I
Your
tried.
time is up.
I
You
tried.
good though. You
And
good. You
It,
good.
wa- it, wa- it, it was a shot in the dark. I tried
Your
it.
your
You know.
your opinion is your opinion. I don't knock it. It's how you live. It's what you think, and it's your premise for how you move and shake. Mine is different. That's all. And I don't believe that you know we can control what happens to us. I just don't agree with that. If I'm walking down the street, I can't stop that car from hitting me. You know,
No.
I can jump out the way, but if that car is going to chase me down the block, it's not. Is it my fault I was walking and crossing the street? No. I mean, so I don't believe that. I believe that I can control how I react, but I cannot control how people move and shake around me.
Well,
And
that's the premise. It's
Hey, this is interesting, and I do want to say something real quick, right?
huh?
Because I ain't gonna be able to be up here long. But have any of y'all heard of a lady by the name of Abraham Hicks?
mm-mm.
Sounds familiar.
Well, Abraham Hicks is famously for being on the Oprah show. when she was at the height of her career, and she preaches about the law of attraction, meaning that
The Secret.
right, yeah, yeah. She was
Oh,
also featured in a film, and I think that was the name of the film. Correct
The
me if I'm
Secret.
wrong. Yeah,
Yeah, it's based
but
off a book, The Secret.
and I haven't read that book, but I've had a brief preview of it, and I've listened to a few of her lectures on YouTube. Very interesting, lady. Very interesting. So to anybody, if you've never heard her speak, she has a very peculiar way of talking. A very
Okay.
interesting way. I think it'll. I think it'll um give. I think it'll give everybody their own like almost like an a opening to a new way of thinking that you may not have been either susceptible to, or just may not even have been aware of. I haven't heard of her until recently, and I watched probably about maybe about 8 or 9 of her lectures, and they're fairly long, like 2 3 hours. But you know, she really goes into depth saying that when you think positive, positive things happen. When you think negative, negative things happen. It's literally like the thought mechanism of how the law of attraction works, and it's so hard for a lot of people to manifest. I think even there was a clip of Steve Harvey even talking about this. What I'm saying something about you know um, it's almost like saying, well, like when you go back and you hear people say like you are what you eat. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, and it's not just talking about like literally food or the physical aspect of food. You know what I'm saying? Like when people say like you are what you eat, they're talking about friends, words, things you take in, music. You know what I'm saying? All of that is like your body is a receiving receptacle of everything around you that's literally pouring into you, and it's constantly manipulating and changing, and and some people may even say even evolving, what I'm saying, who you are as as a human. What I'm saying? And it's not even from like a man or a woman standpoint. It's literally got like a kind of connotation to indicate that we are all receivers of light, right? And I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but um, like being a receiver of light means that light is also dark, light is also bright. So the bright light would be positive, the dark light would be negative, and everything that is in between. So that light will also indicate that that could be family members, friends, foes, co-workers, your business, your place of work, places of travel, things that you read, music, you listen to, what I'm saying, like literally everything. But yeah, very interesting, very
Okay.
interesting.
I just looked her up. Her name is Esther Abraham Hicks, and she writes quite a few. Her and her husband wrote quite a few books on the laws of attraction, and they each have different titles, like Think and Get Slim, Weight Loss, Money, Anything You Want. Like, so there's a variety of things she talks about. Um, and I'm one of those people that believes in energy, and what we put out we attract. And energy is never, it's not created nor destroyed, it's just passed on and around and whatever. So i I do believe what we put out is what we receive. So life may throw some things at us, but how we respond to it determines, I guess, what we get back in return. Yeah, but thank you for sharing that, Rosie. um
Yes, ma'am.
so already. Well, okay, with that being said, um, anybody, do you feel that when you are ready to close the door and a new opportunity is ahead of you, how we respond to what's behind, do you feel that it can affect what's ahead? Delay it, push it back a little bit of time, So now we got to go through this in between space a little bit longer. It can come a little closer. It might miss us altogether just based on how we respond to what's happening back there to what we don't want to walk away from. Anybody? Kim? Please.
I do know that when it comes to like, I can talk about the relationship part of that. Like, okay, when you're trying to move forward with your life and you're trying to close that door to that relationship, holding on to that space that you were in when it ended. Am I too fat to be loved? Am I too naive to ever recognize if they're being honest? And will I ever be able to trust them, anybody else? Am I ever going to be able to love the way that I thought I loved them? Like, and you're holding on to these things. So the dream guy of the world could be right here, like literally like right here. But if you're still asking yourself these questions and still not letting go of that hurt that came with ending and closing that door, then this blessing that's right here can't, unless they kick the mofo in, they ain't getting in at that point. So yes, you're delaying your happiness by holding on.
Okay. What'd you say, Queen?
You know, I think, yeah, I mean, I believe that somewhat, but sometimes I believe like it's just a bunch of BS. You know, I cannot control how someone is going to react or control how they, do stuff or move. Only one I can control is me. And I don't believe that what we put out there is the energy that we get. Because some people look at the energy you put out there and they see you as weak and they see you as prey. So I just don't co-sign to all that. Oh, this and it. If it was that simple, then half the shit that goes on in the world wouldn't go on. So I just think it's BS. I don't agree with that. I believe that if someone has a bias about you, no matter what the hell you do, they want that bias and they have to do the work to get that bias out their head. You could be the sweetest person, but because like for instance, I was targeted as being an angry Black woman and I did nothing. This person took what someone else felt about me and made it their perception of me. So they had to do the work to delete that bias about me. No matter how nice, no matter how helpful, no matter how hardworking I was, this person literally wanted to put me under their foot and step on me. And that's bullshit because I did nothing to deserve that. So I don't believe that. I believe that, I can have a B moment and put that out there. Yes. But I don't believe that it's all that simple, then we wouldn't have racism. Black people did nothing to nobody. We were just walking down the street. So, I mean, what did we do? Did we do something to deserve to be lynched and killed and thrown over a ship? No. So it's not that simple. It really isn't. And I think people want to get caught up, oh, it's how you feel and your cosmic energy burns sage, and that's BS. There are evil people that just move and shake a certain way, and no matter what you do, they just want to prey on people. It doesn't matter. The elderly person didn't want to be robbed. What energy did they put out? I'm just saying.
I got you.
They just pushing the cart trying to go home. I mean, it's not. I believe in changing your attitude and how you go through things and how not allowing it to harden you, but I don't believe it's that simple. Yeah. That's why I don't believe in, how I feel is how my life is going to be. I feel real good, but I've been through some shit that I ain't had a damn thing to do. It was because somebody had a messed up mindset and they wanted to do what they wanted to do. So, and I had to handle myself and put them hands up and touch them a few times.
Okay. Alrighty then. Mr. Best or Rosie.
I'll let the man of the house go. You know what I'm saying first, if it's all right with him.
Go ahead. Whoever would like to go. I'm looking up something real quick that I wanted to share.
Which day before?
Rosie, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Are you sure? All right. Um, you know, I can say, the saying to believe, right? I can say that every time I got locked up, every time that I was shot at, every time I shot back, um, you know, every person I've robbed, even me being robbed, in all the fights, and each time I was jumped and I jumped dudes, and you know what I'm saying, like, it was all because of my own doing. I mean, it's all because of my own doing. And I'm just not in a space as I'm operating as a man to you know what I'm saying, to be mean no more. You know what I'm saying? At least not in the sense to where I'm physically fighting and subjecting myself to those things anymore. And ever since I've stopped doing that, you know what I'm saying, my life has been a 180. You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking over my shoulder anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not having to worry about you know what I mean? Like if somebody gonna pull up on me, you know what I'm saying? Like nah, and I would just say I'm proud of my own self. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I came a long way. I came a long way, yo. You know what I mean? Like if any of y'all would have saw me 10, 12 years ago, like y'all would have feared or even called the cops on me. Like all of y'all were like, yo, get this nigga out of here. Yo, this
Okay.
nigga is nuts. And I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Ever since I've been coming up and I've talked to a few folks and and I've shared my story in depth. You know what I mean? And I'm not, ashamed of this because somebody else may be over there hear this and they're like, you know what, y'all, I relate. I ain't like that no more. I need to stop being like that. So, I guess kind of like tying it to the topic, you know, close the door, new opportunities are always wait because they are. They are. But you have, but I think the whole connotation of, as it says in the title, to close the door means that, you have to close the door, on the negative things on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like self reflection is very hard for a lot of people to do. It is very hard to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what the fuck is it about me that I need to change? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very hard, yo. It's very hard. And like Kevin Samuels so famously said one day. I remember when he was talking to him in the men. He said he was like, to all the men out there, you need to look yourself in the mirror, and no homo, but you need to look yourself in the mirror naked and strip yourself down and look yourself and say, yo, what is it about me that I need to change? What is it about me that I don't like? Not just from a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint. How I look, how do I stand? How do I project myself? How do I talk? You know what I'm saying? It's a very hard thing to do. And for anybody listening, try it. Try it. I dare you. I dare you to try it. And you don't even tell me, but just ask yourself this and watch your eyes, because your eyes will drop in some point of you looking at yourself in a form of being ashamed or something. And it's not saying that you are ashamed of you, but it may be that one specific thing that you don't like, that you knew you could have improved on. So, and again, you know what I'm saying, self reflection is very important and very hard for most people to do. And I encourage everybody to at least try it. But that's my piece.
All righty. Mr. Best, you have something you want to say?
Actually, I don't. Hold on. Let me put my headset on because I got a little echo. Some headset on.
Okay. Well, I want to share one last piece.
So I have to give a shout out to
sorry.
Mr. Arshawn Dave of Criddly Drinking. Thanks for being here, bro.
Thank you for
You
checking
got a whole
in.
bunch of raid. Okay, I don't see no roaches around, but it's all good. Thank you for the love. Oh, you're doing the Twitch raid. Okay. I got you. And Mr. Brian. Hey, you can greet us.
Okay.
Enjoy, Mr. Brian. Good to see you. You know,
Mr.
Mr. Brian, if
come
you'd like
on
to
up.
come up, the link is pinned. You know
Look.
what I mean? Definitely come through. And I also sent you the link as well. So, yes. And you
Please
both for
come
the
up.
money for being here. Let me give you a little money sound.
So I want to share my last piece, and it talks about, y'all know I do a lot of reading and research and stuff, and so change is growth. So 3 tips for embracing new opportunities. Now, while this article may talk about things that are more job related, they can still apply in the practical sense to your life. Now, of course, I'm not going to read this whole article. I'm going to give you a few highlights, and I would like for you to read something, read it for yourself, or find something to read that inspires you. Um, okay, an important part of personal development is overcoming the human tendency to run from change. So that new opportunity, that new door that's opening for you is change. It's something we've never done before, we've never seen before. And of course, we're unsure of what's going to happen. Are we going to still make the same money over here? Or like Kim mentioned about, am I going to find somebody to love me the same? Am I going to love somebody? Am I going to be open to XYZ, yada, yada, yada? Am I going to be open to the new experience, whatever it is, person, place, or thing? I don't want to leave this city because I know all the people here. I don't want to move to a new city because now I got to learn new whatever it is. We have to be open to change in order to grow. So look at that new door, that new opportunity is a chance for you to grow as a person in different aspects of your life. Um, Being open to new opportunities and mindsets, wherever they may come from, is the only way to keep growing. Okay, so this article also talks about a podcast and a lady who wrote a book called Choose Your Story, Change Your Life. Silence your inner critic and rewrite your life from the inside out. Um, Oftentimes we don't spend enough time with ourselves, and this is no point poke at men. I'm a woman with a uterus and estrogen. I can only speak for me. Women feel deeper and different at times than men. So we spend a lot of times with our inner self. We do a lot of what they call self-care, healing stuff. And I know the men gonna come back with whatever they gotta say, that's fine. But in order for you to really change and grow, you gotta start with self, and you gotta start from the inside out. You can read all the books, you can watch all the movies, you can go to all the seminars, but until you say, whatever your name is, am ready to change, I'm ready to grow, not much is really going to happen in your life. So let's put a pin in that. All right. So number one, be open minded to finding new opportunities. Um, we have our dreams and our fantasies about how a new opportunity. I'm gonna get that random phone call. I'm gonna get this random email. I've been watching you. We want you on our team. I can't tell you how many emails I got about we saw your page on Instagram and we want you to be a brand ambassador. I go check their pages. They have people that don't even look like me aesthetically. They may have black people, but they don't have people who represent their products don't represent me. So I'm like, why would I want to be a brand ambassador for somebody that don't represent me? Anyway, that's nuts. So be mindful, be open minded. But there have been some decent offers that have come my way. I had to do my research first to make sure they were legit. Um, like I said, this one person found a job by looking on Google. So there's some work that we got to do as well for these new opportunities. Yes, a door could be waiting, but there's something we got to do still to get to that place for that opportunity to be open for us. Um, Life-changing advice can come from unexpected places, people, places, and things. When I was going to church full time, some ministers will say, we overlook the message because of the messenger. And that can apply to still other areas of our life. Because he said it, I ain't listening to it. Well, she said it, I ain't listening to it. Because of how we feel, what bias we have toward that person, we don't want to listen to them. But what they have to offer could be very valuable to us. So, unexpected places. You might meet somebody at the gas station, coffee shop, grocery store. You never know. Anyway, um, reshape your life by telling your own story. Some of us, I know we don't always want to share our ups and downs, trials and tribulations of our life. But the more transparent we become, and it's not about getting sympathy. I'm not a charity case. I just need you to know what I went through because you or someone else may be going through this. This is what I did. They might could try the same things that work for them. So tell your story, be transparent, and watch how things shift and change in your life. Anyway, so those are my 3 cents. I want y'all to respond, and then I would like for Mr. Vaughn to come up, but if not, then we will do our closing words. So we're gonna finish off with opportunities. Y'all can share what you like about that, and then do your final thoughts. So we're gonna do ladies first. Miss Kim, since you are a guest tonight.
Real quick, QB, I just gotta give a shout out to some of the Twitch people that came in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The Lord Ted STG, thank you for coming through. Thanks for being here. Definitely the money for being here. And shout out to Nova Rain. You know what I mean? Thank you for being here, Nova Rain. Appreciate you. Got both for the money for being here. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank y'all for coming through. All right. So, Kim, we lost her again. Hopefully she'll be back. I think Razik and Kim, y'all playing musical chairs with y'all connections here tonight. So, okay, Queen. Did she have to step away? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Razik. Y'all not gonna keep leaving me hanging all night. I'm gonna get offended and take it personal in a minute. Okay, Kim, you're back.
Oh, I'm here. Oh, is it my time to talk? It's my fault, Kim. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. Paraphrase the question again because I got lost and my phone went out. And
so the last part was about opportunities. It's about change, growth, opening your mind to receiving things from a different perspective, from a different place. Life-changing advice can come from different places. And then tell your story. Reshape your life by telling your story. Opportunities can come. So share your thoughts on any one of those or all of them.
Absolutely. If your mind, some people don't know they're closed-minded. They think they're open-minded because they've experienced their life in their eyes. But you can't be open-minded from your eyes. That's the oxymoron in itself. You have to step outside of your eyes and put yourself in the place of that person in order to feel where they're coming from. Now, to tie it in with closing doors, every opportunity is not for you. Every
Yeah.
okay, I'm a podcaster now, so every guest don't make the cut to the show. You see what I'm saying? Everybody that tries to come on don't end up on the show. And it's not because I feel some type of way about them personally. It's because their energy with me just don't. So them ain't my people. So I'll close the door on that opportunity, because just because I'm not your people, just because you're not my people, don't mean that you don't have your people somewhere that will come through and give you your views, and you'll be great at what you do. But if we're not going to be great together, then it's counterproductive for us to keep opening that door that doesn't lead to anything productive. And I've found in this podcast world that that's very prevalent, forcing shows with people that you just don't vibe with.
It's like, okay, somebody talk here. Like
awkward.
Yeah.
Like, why did we do this again? So I do enjoy the open panel conversations. My phone's dying and I got to get my household in order for tomorrow. So I'm getting ready to have to hop off of here. I appreciate the opportunity to come talk with y'all. I've had a great time. So
shout out, meet the Tylers real quick.
Oh yes. Go follow us. www.wearethetylers.com. Go subscribe. That's our website. You can go look on Meet the Tylers Podcast 2021 on all major platforms. You're going to find us. So shout out to Channel 82 Network and Mr. Morio, because he's awesome. And Miss Q, shout out to you for everything that you've done for us and been on our shows and blessed us with your talents. So it was nice to meet y'all. I will see y'all around again on another show one day. So
thank you for coming through. Appreciate you, Mr. Gibson.
Yes, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right,
definitely go subscribe to your podcast.
Yes, please do. Miss Q, you can direct them, and I'll follow back. And I go and listen and watch and all that. So absolutely. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Peace.
All right, so Queen, are you with us?
Yes, I'm back.
All right, so share your thoughts, your final thoughts on, opportunities by way of being open-minded, getting advice from unexpected places, people, places, or things, and then reshaping your life by telling your own story. These are just ways. These are 3 ways that opportunities can come to you. So just share your thoughts on that, or give us any final words that you would like.
I just think, yes, sir. Keep open, keep things open, meaning like keep yourself actively open to opportunities, not being afraid. Don't let the fear of the unknown stop you, because you never know what you could be passing up. And hey, if you try, you don't like it, and keep it pushing. I think and I'm gonna say this again. I think we have to just move in a space. If you don't like how somebody moving, man, go sit near somebody else. Like, we got to get out of the space of where we want to be Stepford Wives and robots and IA and blow up and Wallies and no pun intended, Wally, but robots. Ain't nobody a robot. Like,
you don't want to be as Eva.
You're supposed to be so Everyone's supposed to be so zen and so self-aware and so woke. So why you hating on somebody that don't rock what you rock or do what you do? Do you, boo? Because I'm doing me. Like, just live your life and stay out of mine. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
that's all.
Thank you, Queen, for always keeping it real. All right. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let the guys duke it out over the last spot. But I just want to say thank you, first of all, to each and every person that joined the panel, joined the chat, shared your wisdom, your knowledge, your insight, shared your personal life with us. Thank you for that, because that's not always easy. However, you never know who's listening, who could benefit from what you have to say. So keep telling your story. Let others benefit from your vulnerability. I'm not saying cut yourself wide open, just lay bare, but be willing to share just enough so that other people know that there's someone else out there in the world that's just like them or similar to them. Don't be afraid to close doors that are not serving you, your mind, body, and soul. I refuse to let somebody or something else kill me, and I can control that. So yeah, not happening here. And be mindful and be aware of those unexpected things that happen, those opportunities. People call it luck. I call it blessings. You can call it whatever you want. So, um, anyway, but thank you all. I hope you take some time to evaluate your life and see, okay, what doors can I close? Which ones do I need to start walking forward to close? And then let go of that fear, self doubt. It's easier said than done, but it has to be done. And that's my take on the matter. So, Rosie, Mr. Best.
Yeah, I'm on my way out. I gotta get ready to do some studying. And you know what I'm saying, hit the lab, check up on these brokerage accounts and the news in the market, stock market tips. You already know what I'm saying. You know, I just appreciate 84 for what I'm saying. Reaching out, man. Um, I know I'm not easy to deal with at times. You know what I mean, and I can accept. You know what I mean. So, but as Nipsey said, it's a marathon. It ain't no sprint. You know what I mean. So endurance is key. You know what I mean. Just being able to weather every storm and climb every obstacle, because life isn't easy. You know what I mean. So, and on that note, y'all have a great evening. We ghost.
Thank you. Have a good
Yes,
night.
ma'am. All right.
All right. So, Mr. Best for last. Now, did he walk away too? Like, we can't have people just walking away all the time. Okay. Well, I guess Mr. Best, he'll jump in when he gets back. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning into Conversations Going Down right here on the Intellectual Soapbox every Tuesday, unless we notify you. 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Um, Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, help us get our numbers up, traffic going, all that jazz. And if you're feeling extra generous, drop a little change in the bucket. We appreciate you. We
Just a
got to
little
keep the lights
change.
on. Girl, what'd you
Yeah.
say? What'd you say?
Just a little change.
All right, Mr. Best, are you back with us?
I'm back. I'm back. I had to do
All right.
some, and I do some movement with Queen real quick. You know what I mean? No, but I don't know. But seriously, thank you
You better
everybody for
stop
coming in.
clapping me in the back.
What? Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for being on the panel in the chat. Thank you for everybody for coming up. Want to thank our special guest, Mrs. Gibson. Thank you for being around. We appreciate you. Thank Razik, Queen, and of course you, QB, for the conversations. And thank everybody in the chat. Thank you even for the Twitch game for coming through. We appreciate all of y'all. Our Sean in the gang, appreciate y'all for coming through. Appreciate everybody on YouTube. Thank y'all for checking in. And we will be back next Tuesday with another edition of Conversations. All right, y'all. Definitely like and subscribe. Show us some love. And please tune in late this evening to our main station, Knowledge and Relationships. Easily Rigged is back at y'all this evening. You know what I'm saying? Show them some love. Show us some love and Knowledge and Relationships. And like, subscribe over there and tune into that. All right?
Why are you yelling?
But that being said, you know, we love y'all. You know what I mean?
Y'all still gotta deal with it.
Man, thanks for the love, man. Thanks for the love, bro. Thanks for the love.
Tone it
And happy
down.
birthday.
Tone it
Happy,
down.
hold on, y'all. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Happy birthday to Arshawn Day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Quickly Drinking. And Mr. Arshawn Day, happy birthday to you, bro. Much love, man. You know what I mean? Hopefully you celebrate your birthday. You know what I mean? And doing your thing, man. Appreciate you, brother. With that being said, y'all, we
out.
are out.
DJ.